Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to the Naked Truth. We have a special guest today here, Miss Dorisa. So you want to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself? And, of course, you know Candace. You want to...
Hey, it's Candace.
I'm so excited to be here at The Naked Truth. I'm Dorisa King. I'm the owner of Yoni Steam 412, Pittsburgh's first reproductive health spa.
Yay. We are so excited to have you. We are.
Definitely.
Yes. So you want to tell us about a little bit about your business, when you started, and what made you want to start this, your business?
Well, Yoni Steam 412 came to me in a dream from God. It was my 30th birthday. I never heard of Yoni steaming before, but I've always been into herbs. So once I woke up from this dream, y'all, I grabbed my phone and I Googled Yoni steaming. And I was like, herbs over a vagina.
Over
What?
vagina?
So as soon as I found out Yoni steaming, I found a school in Atlanta to
Okay.
certify me to become a Yoni steam practitioner and a minister of holistic feminine health care.
Wow.
So big ups to the Love My Womb Academy for making me Pittsburgh's first Yoni steam practitioner.
Good for you.
Yes.
You've been doing a lot of big things lately. I'm
Yes.
so proud of you. Can we talk about your experience with the mayor at Gainey? What was that about?
So big ups to Mayor Gainey and the First Lady of Pittsburgh. The First Lady is really into art.
Okay.
So she makes it her job to make sure she's showcasing Black art in the city of Pittsburgh
I love
and in
that.
the mayor's office. So she has a project called Pittsburgh Paints, and she invited a few Black businesses to bring their logo in a frame and get it hung up in the mayor's office for the August month.
Wait. Your logo is in the freaking mayor's office.
Yes, ma'am.
That is amazing. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, you're so awesome. How
Yes.
did what type of feeling did you get when they asked you to do that and your logo is in the mayor's office? Like, what kind of feeling is that?
It didn't hit me until I was sitting in there listening to him, and he was saying things like homies.
He seems so down to earth.
He is so
That's the
down
way to
earth.
put
It
it.
makes you feel comfortable, I'm
Super
sure. You're like,
comfortable.
he's one of us. I love to hear it. I love to
Yes.
hear
He
it.
spoke life into all the business owners and just said it's going to change with us, not with the mayor. We have to change the city.
I agree.
I agree.
We're ready for the job.
Oh, wow. You go, girl. You got some great things happening for you.
I
I'm so
love
happy to
it.
hear these things.
Before I let Candace go with her questions, I just wanted to say this. Every time I see you on the internet, you just give me this feeling like your spirit is so free. And when you do that damn hula hoop, girl, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I be like,
can we get a session?
oh my gosh, you're so dope. And you just give off that sexiness, like you're a siren. Like, I feel like I'm a siren, and I'm like, when I see you, I'm like, she's a siren too. You just give off that natural sex appeal without even trying to be sexy, and I love it. You're just giving life. I love it.
Definitely goddess behavior.
Yes. So what you got? What you got to ask?
Okay, so again, nice meeting you. I'm glad to have you here. You look beautiful today.
Thank you, guys.
So you definitely let us know what made you decide to go into this business. I was not expecting that answer, but it spoke to me because sometimes we get things in our dreams that let us know what
like
we
a
should do in
calling.
our actual lives. And it's like your calling just came straight to you. So that's pretty cool. That is really cool. I would say, how often would you recommend someone to do yoni steaming? Like in between different things such as like the menstrual and having sex, those different things. Because, I read into it and I do a little bit of it at home. So I know that you're not supposed to do it all the time, and you're not supposed to do it like during your menstrual cycle because it can harm you more than help you. So what would you say?
According to the woman's needs. So if a woman has fibroids, she's going to be yoni steaming at least twice a month because that steam is going to help those fibroids, which are mucus-filled boogers. It's like pimples inside.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
It's going to help us melt them out and get expel the mucus out, basically. So they need to steam a little bit more because they have special needs. Women who have painful periods, I would recommend steaming twice a month. 1 week before your period and after your period. Before your period is going to help promote proper flow. It's going to get any blockage out of the way, because everything that we eat goes to our womb space. That's where cramps come from.
Very true.
Food.
Very true.
Right? So we steam out the food and let the blood flow, and then after the period, it helps to eliminate BV and yeast symptoms that usually happen.
Which is really big, yes.
Yeah, that's a common issue that a lot of women have, which is not like terrible. There's ways you can fix it. It's normal. Don't feel strange about if you are someone that had this issue before or you get this commonly. So yeah, okay, that's really cool. I'm glad that you shared that with us, because there's so many people who are not really aware of this. I've brought this up to doctors even. They're like, not so sure. I mean, they're probably not allowed to really discuss it, considering that it's not a practice that they perform.
Yeah, they don't.
But yeah, so a lot of people are unaware. So I'm glad you are teaching everyone, you know, the good benefits that we have with this.
You're welcome. You're worthy.
So, what about someone that has BV and they get it often? How often should they get a steam?
So BV, that's like my favorite topic.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Bacterial vaginosis. It can come from a stressful week. Mm-hmm. It can come from eating too much seafood, because everything that we eat, again, has to come through the Yoni space.
Wow.
So I recommend Yoni Balance boric acid suppositories.
Okay, I'm going to have to try that.
Those are really good. Those are really good.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to order some of those.
Yep.
Would you like to discuss a little more about those?
Yep, I created them. It's 100% boric acid. When you think about boric acid, you're like, that's roach killer.
Oh, sorry, girl.
Yes, it is a natural compound from the sea. It has wonderful minerals like vitamin A and vitamin E, and that lactobacteria that's in yogurt that we really, really need.
Right.
So I recommend using Yoni Balance boric acid suppositories after sex. When you get that fishy smell, you're like, oh, he threw off my pH. Or the last day of your period, when it gets kind of brown and that smell comes. Or again, after eating crab legs all week, being a pescatarian. I'd like to use one at least once every 10 days just to stay fresh.
Okay, once every 10 days. While we're talking about BV, while we're on that subject, so it looks like there was like this discussion about, Nick Cannon said something about 80% of women need assistance with their feminine hygiene. Do you believe the 20% exists? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I am 20%. In fact, I got some really good reviews about sex last night. I take I take pride in my vaginal health, and it's gotten in the way of my sexual activity, because they're like, yo, calm down. You know how hard I worked for that sweat and that juice to come out? And I'm just cleaning it up because I really like clean sex.
Okay,
in fact, I like to have a gallon of water on the side of the bed, so we're staying hydrated before, during, and after sex, so we can flush out the bad bacteria.
So you mean you like taking breaks while you're having sex?
Yeah,
you're
having my water. Yeah, and drinking water while you're riding dick, it actually increases your lubrication, because everything that you eat and drink goes through the
Really?
Yoni.
So you just like
Again.
Absolutely. Okay, we get some tips here.
And women, sometimes they're just used to a BV smell. Like they're like, you know, that's normal. And it's not. We just weren't taught that. We're taught to go to the doctors and get those scripts and then come right back for that yeast, because that's what it does.
Okay, yes, that's
true.
so horrible.
How
Yes,
that
I'm going to have to
medication
try
does
that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're going to have her in there with
Yeah,
all the
you gotta-
water. She's going to have a mini fridge.
Hold on, babe.
Water.
But that's funny, though, because I do drink water, like, afterwards and before, but I never thought to drink it like, during.
Aren't you usually caught during sex? Like you got the cot, you're dehydrated, you're sweating.
Yeah, but I guess I never thought to do that. I guess I seen a guy do that. I'm like, what the fuck? You taking water breaks? Like, well, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah, especially when you've been drinking. So,
Okay, I have to try it.
yes.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, do you ever plan on creating your own Yoni Steam, packages?
I'm creating my own Yoni Steam school.
Yes.
You are so dope.
Yes. That's the answer that I love to hear.
I have to get help. I can't do all this work by myself. I'm ready to train women and create like a SOLA situation where there's different suites in the building and they all are practitioners of womb health. And then they can also do their own services of waxing and eyelashes. But I really want to create this big space for Yoni steaming in Pittsburgh.
That would be major, especially from an African-American woman. Putting that out there, because African-American women, sometimes we don't receive the help that we need down there. So you being there, I'm pretty sure it will be helpful to women who's who's after having a baby or anything serious that they had to take care of with their, womb health.
Girl, can I just say that 600,000 hysterectomies are performed in our country
I heard
each
you
year.
say that when you was meeting with the mayor.
Probably falsely too.
Falsely. And most of them are done on black women. Why? Because of the lack of education and these terrible products.
I agree.
So,
we have a totally different anatomy.
Our diet, everything.
Yes.
And I think we can take pain.
Yeah.
So.
We have a strong face, but, we need love and care too.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to everything that you got going on. I'm really proud of you.
Thank
So
you.
dope.
Yes, the feeling's mutual this way.
Yes.
Wishing you the best with everything. And I want to support.
Thank you, Goddess. Thank you.
Okay, so I was checking out your website and I noticed that you offer mommy and daughter steams. How safe is it for little girls under 18?
So I want girls into their puberty to start Yoni steaming. My daughters are 9 and 10.
Okay.
They've been steaming since about 7 and 8. And that is to help regulate their period.
Got it.
We have to think that this is just tea. If a woman or a girl can drink a cup of tea, she can put it under her butt. It's just herbs. It is just a sauna. So again, our children are on the American diet. It is full of gluten. It is causing a lot of skin issues and constipation. So Yoni steaming is good for constipation. We do king steam. I have steam little boys for their constipation issues, because for men, the steam is going through their anal, and that's how we reach their prostate. Men don't like to go to the doctor and let that doctor stick the rod up there. They'll come to Yoni Steam 412 and allow me to steam their butthole.
Yeah, because they feel safe. Yeah. Wow. So, I saw all your services, and I was like, wow, you can get a little girl under 18 can get a Yoni steam. I was like, wow.
They're having sex under 18.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So while we're talking about this, and I'll go to you next, Candace, about kids and Yoni steams and things like that, how do you feel about kids under 14 or 14 getting waxed?
Only way I would allow it is if it was a really bad odor issue. That's most of the problem with the hair. But it does give off, I'm grown. In fact, when I was getting waxed, when I first got waxed, my children were saying, Mom, do you want like a little girl yoni? You want your yoni to look like a little girl. Why are you taking all the hair off?
Right.
And I was like, oh, it's just a maintenance thing for mommy. I'm a model, so I have to have it clear. Right. But I don't think it's appropriate.
I don't think so either.
I don't either. I don't think it's appropriate. I mean, it's to each his own for sure. But the reason why I don't think it's appropriate is because the hair down there is to protect you.
Right.
And if, that does happen with the odor because bacteria can get blocked in there and that can cause other issues. However, that's just all in the process of growing up and learning how to clean yourself properly. Mm-hmm. So either you, deal with that. A little trim down, I don't think that's inappropriate, but you have to be very careful with that. But getting waxed fully, you're doing something to that skin, and that skin is not fully developed. And even as an adult, the skin down there is sensitive. So starting young like that to just keep putting hot wax in that area and removing the hair, you're probably causing long-term issues. Yes. Probably should wait, to develop more. That's just my opinion, though. Nothing against anyone who takes their daughters, or any little girls that are, interested in that, and that's considered a self-care weekend for them or something like that. But I personally wouldn't.
Yeah,
I agree.
My daughter's 12. For me, I'm definitely not with that. Because for me as a mother, it's like, well, what are you preparing for? You don't need to be, no one needs to be seeing that. And like you said, I agree with what you said. With long as it's not like a issue with the smell or anything like that, there's no need for you to be touching it. You shouldn't, just leave it alone.
The way God made you.
No, and that's
just like the bikini line, if it's the summertime and they're out, it's a little weird to see all this hair popping out of her bikini.
Right.
But the bikini line is okay after 14.
After.
I mean, depending on how often you go swimming, you can be on a swim team. there's just different reasons why it could be appropriate.
Depending on how you are as a parent, if that's your preference or not. So.
However you go about it, just be careful.
Yeah. And then I feel like sometimes the kids are uncomfortable with it. I was getting a wax, and there was a little kid in there that was young, and she was like pissed off that her mom was taking her to get a wax. Like, she did not want it, and the people in the wax place was like, we're not doing this because this is making us uncomfortable.
Because she's uncomfortable.
Yeah, so, yeah. So, you got any questions?
Needless to say.
We want. Yeah, so, you got anything else you want to say?
Yeah, let me see here. What do I have? Okay, well, detoxing is good to do when you're, getting rid of toxins, stuff that's not good for you and to hold on to inside of your body. So how can we use this method when it comes to our lives?
Women are using Yoni steaming to get rid of soul ties. When they come in, I ask them, what you here for? What you want to do?
I need an appointment ASAP.
Because those energies,
it's a big thing.
Yes.
But it's very heavy. Okay, so when a woman comes in, we go through the intake form. She lets me know all about her Yoni history, where she's at right now. Is you ovulating? Oh, excuse me. Are you ovulating?
Girl, cool.
Are you about to come on your period? What's going on? So we built the blend according to your needs. I got over 70 different herbs in the building, and we just go through them and build the blend for you. Now, she said, okay, I'm trying to get over this guy. Then I have to pull out the pussy prayers.
Okay.
The pussy prayers.
Yes.
Do tell.
So I'm a Yoni DJ. I'm going to play music according to your needs. So most of it is affirmations or instrumentals. And it helps to, this is where the spiritual part comes in. It helps for you to release. Women are crying and bawling in there because it's my energy in there. It's my ancestors' energy in there. I got crystals in there. I got big energy in there. So when they're done, I come in with the pussy prayer. It's just a prayer I say over them. But then when they leave, all that energy stuck on me. I have to clean it up. The guys he's just swarming around there like, where's she at? Where's she at? And then it's in the pot. So what we do is we take the Yoni steam pot outside and we dump the herbs back into the earth because we just borrowed them. We took the herbs from the earth to use in the hill. So now we got to take them back and thank Mama God, Mother Earth, for providing these herbs for us to heal, because God wouldn't leave us on this earth with nothing to heal ourselves with.
Wow.
We have everything.
Deep. That's deep.
So that's where the spiritual ties come in.
Wow.
So
So
you can't go back to them.
Wow, no. Yeah, I got to schedule a couple services. We need a
No,
pussy prayer. Can we do a
seriously.
pussy prayer now?
Yes.
I love it.
But I'm glad she shared that, because now everybody knows, like, depending on what you're going through, there's definitely a remedy for it, and it's at your studio.
Yes, ma'am.
You have some safe practices. So just so you guys know, none of those bad energies and all that bad stuff that's coming out of you, they're flushing it out, okay? It's not in the studio anymore. She gets rid of it, all right? You're not going to take on anybody else's issues.
We try. But this work is just not for everybody. You really got to be cut out for this.
Seems like you got to be really in tune with it, and it seems like you are.
Yeah, you got to heal yourself first.
You have to have high spirits, because somebody with negative spirits, they have no business being out here trying to do this for others.
No, it won't even work. They won't last long.
And I'm sure that puts a lot on you, because I hear you saying, I got to clean up all the energy. That's a lot to put on one person. Like, what do you do to keep yourself sane? Like, what do you do for yourself?
I have to do a lot of spiritual cleaning, which I'm not, I don't do a lot of, but it's the spiritual baths. It's going home and sitting in that water and washing off everything, lighting that candle, getting my crystals, and speaking life into myself again. Sometimes I notice that if a woman has bad periods and she comes to cure that, it could come back on me. Like the next month, my period will be a little longer because I didn't cleanse myself properly. I still had her spirit still on me.
Wow.
So spiritual cleansing is a really big deal. Sage doesn't get everything. In fact, some spirits laugh at sage, like, ha, you thought that was going to get me out. No, you got to open them windows up and really let it out.
Wow. That's so amazing. It's like, yeah, just go see Teresa for all your needs, all your feminine needs.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's see what else we can ask you here, because I feel like we covered a lot of different things.
But there's so much more. I could hold you here all day and talk to you.
Yes. So, what are some benefits of getting like a Yoni steam, and what are some benefits of that?
So when I steam myself, it's a release. It's a release from the whole week. It opens up your chakras. So our lower chakras, the root, that's your spine. So if you have lower back pains, women come in with back pains and they get off the stool like, wow, that's gone. All that pain is gone. It is going to help your periods, of course. It is going to help with infertility because there's usually something blocking these tubes, and that steam has to come through and melt it out. Ooh, it helps women through their hysterectomies because once you get a hysterectomy, you go through menopause kind of early, and your walls get loose. There's nothing in there to hold everything together. So it's going to help tighten up your vaginal tissues, just like when you steam your face, it tightens up your face.
Right.
Lubrication. Oh, depending on what herbs we use, it really juices up and gives you wop.
Okay.
It helps with endometriosis, the fibroids, the adenomyosis, everything in the womb space. Every single thing that could go wrong in the womb space, the Yoni steam helps with.
Right. Is this something you can do safely at home, or is this something we just got to see our girl Teresa?
Oh, absolutely not. I teach you how to do it at home. You never want to steam in those plastic bowls because plastic releases toxins when you put heat on it. Just like if you put plastic in the microwave. You cannot Yoni steam with an IUD.
Okay, I did see that on your website.
Why can you not Yoni steam with an IUD? Because it's a plastic device. It is foreign, and when we put steam on plastic, it melts. You cannot use a Yoni Detox pearl with an IUD. I've seen the pearl pull the IUD straight out and leave it on a girl's car seat.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
These herbs are very, very powerful. So you can't just mix different herbs together. You do need to see a herbalist because every herb doesn't go with each other, and some herbs make you bleed more than others. So again, this is medicine. It's growing outside of everybody's front door. Everyone. Like if you are ill, I promise you, you look outside. There's something growing out there for you. Now you can just grab your Google app, press that camera button. There's a camera button and there's a microphone button. The camera button takes a picture of anything in the world and tells you what it is. So use it to identify herbs and plants growing in your neighborhood. It'll blow your mind.
I love that you said, and I know you got a question, but before we go to that, I feel like our ancestors started off with that, like using different herbs and stuff to heal us and things like that. So
it comes from our ancestors.
I think that's
everything.
Because it's all natural. Yeah. So what were you saying? I saw that you had a question.
Oh, yeah, because now we're talking about the healing properties. So I noticed that you have like foot detox services, and I've learned a little bit about them, and I always wanted to try it, but I wanted to make sure that I was doing it right. So why don't you tell us about that and how that helps as well? Because I know when you're sick, a lot of people go to, resort to doing the foot detox so that they can pull the toxins all the way out through their feet. That's supposedly, is it like for lack of better terms, and also, excuse my ignorance, but isn't that like something that goes along with the Chinese culture or Asian culture?
Yes.
Okay.
Even Yoni steaming. It started in Asia. It started in Africa. But the Asians, the royalty, they were doing it because it's a royal service. You really feel like a queen when you're Yoni steaming. Chinese people live a long, long time. And the Ionic foot detox did originate over there. Everything's in your feet. Reflexology. So if you get a reflexology, they start putting pressure on certain feet and it hits certain organs. Well, with the Ionic foot detox, you're sitting in a bath of water. I'll add some sea salt and that ion, the array, and that is going to pull out positively charged ions and add negatively charged ions to your body and pull the toxins out. So whatever color the water changes is going to tell me what organ you're detoxing from.
Okay.
Wow.
So I pull out a chart, show you which organs. They're like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm like, no, we're just going to fix this, clean it up. When you come back, your color should be a different color.
There we go.
That is very interesting. I've always been interested in trying that, so I'm going to have to stop by for a few things.
Yeah. I already taking notes, like, I need this and that. Anything else you want to say?
Let's see. So I know that you guys were talking about how, Yoni steaming at home, how can you properly do it. What do you think about... What do you think about, because I did ask you about, you said you were going to make a school. But back to you creating, the steam packages for people, would you consider that, or do you think that it would defeat the purpose because your business right now, you have people coming to you for that service.
I'm so sorry.
Think it would take from that?
I totally ran with that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I do have packages. In fact, I
you
sell
do?
my own stools as well.
Okay.
They're super cool. They hold up to 600 pounds. There's 5 pieces, comes in a bag, and you can take it anywhere in the world with you.
You know what? Honestly, I was looking at your site, but it was like a while back when we were supposed to do this the initial time, and I didn't see it at the time, and that's where the question initiated from. So you do have them. Do you restock often?
I do.
Okay.
And everything's usually at the spa.
Okay. So come to the store and you'll find all of that. Okay, good.
She's like, yeah, that's where you can get it.
Because, girl, I'm going to come shop.
I'm so excited. It's like making it a girl day. Yes.
Yes, and then the energy behind the person who makes it. So that's selling me,
Yes.
on the products even more.
Thank you. I got samples for y'all too.
Oh, yes. That's what I was waiting
gifts.
for. Okay. A very important question. When do you think someone should see a physician? Because I know you talked about like different herbs and things like that and how we should start off with using those first. So when is it a time for a girl to be like, okay, this isn't working. We need to see a doctor because something serious is going on here. What are some signs?
Definitely your annual. Me and my gynecologist are real cool. Most of my clients go to him. So he's like, make sure now they want us to go every 2 years for that annual.
Really?
So it's just been really hard after COVID. I really survived during COVID because I helped a lot of women who couldn't get out the house and go to the doctors. We are our own healers. We have to pay attention to our body. I recommend tasting yourself weekly, checking on your cervix and see if it's high or low because it goes up and down during your menstrual phases. But when you're in pain, when things just don't feel right,
That makes sense.
you go to the doctor, you get their technology, then you come to me, tell me what he said, and I help you how to heal it naturally.
There you go.
Well, seeing as though we're talking about this, and you said that you have a doctor that you recommend for all of your clients, and that's amazing that you have a doctor that you have a good bond with. I wanted to know, like, how do you feel about having this spa with all of these different combinations of services that's for your health? Like, do you get, well, I guess what I'm really trying to say is, are you getting negative feedback sometimes from, like, doctors, anybody from the medical field? Because a lot of times they'll try to insinuate that it's nonsense to go this
That's a
route.
good
I don't
question.
think it's nonsense. I truly believe in it. I mean, you can ask anyone who knows me. I'm pretty holistic. I don't take medicine, like, I at all. Like, I'm big on trying to keep my immune system up, especially at a time like this. But even pre, COVID, that was something that I always, tried to keep up with because I figured you take a lot of medicine, the medicine is doing the job for your immune system. So how is your immune system going to maintain its strength to, like, take care of you fully when it's time to do the job? You know what I mean? So I really want to know, like, what type of feedback are you getting from these doctors?
question.
Because you have a good bond with the one that you have. What about any others?
I haven't been to a PCP or anything like that in years, but I just always go to my gynecologist. And in the beginning, I was terrified. I didn't want to talk to any doctors about it because they would totally be against it. But I have to think about history. If slaves were here for 400 years, doctors and hospitals have only existed for 200 years. And during those other years, who were they practicing on? Slaves, without our permission. We didn't have doctors. We were our own doctors. We went to the bush and got what we needed. And even then, the masters used to go on the field and say, hey, get grandmama. Tell her the master's sick. Get some of them herbs or something.
Started from us. Right?
So they took everything away from us. We couldn't go to the doctors and have our babies. Our grandmas were our midwives and our aunties were our doulas. And then they took midwives away. They took them to the hospital, got the training from them, and then banned them. And midwives just came back a few years ago.
I just got to say, that's one thing I love about our culture is, like, you can give us shit and we know how to work from there, and people will keep taking from us, and we're like, oh, we'll figure it out. I love that about our culture. It's like, we'll figure it out somehow.
Yeah.
We did. Unfortunately, I have to say.
We don't get a credit for any of it.
We won't get credit. They're trying to take Yoni steaming into the medical field. They have banned Yoni steaming in the state of Alabama. All the Yoni steams are shut down there, and it is a felon if you are caught performing a Yoni steam.
Oh, my gosh.
State of Alabama.
Wow. So it's pretty broad, the opinions that the medical field, have on that topic in general. Clearly, they're against it in certain places.
Because if they can't profit off of it, they want to figure out a way to do it.
Absolutely.
They are.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I feel like you'll survive all of this with all your products. I really believe in them. Yeah.
Thank you, Goddess.
And we're all for health here.
Yes.
Even though we have like a lot of doctors and we're known for having some of the best hospitals, like all on the side of that, we are big on health here. So you're in a good place doing this, and I know that you're helping a lot of people, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to see this, and if they aren't already your clients, they're going to be your clients. Yes, come in, come see our girl.
Yeah, while you're saying that, once you put your tags on your website, your Instagram, you want to throw that out there for the audience?
How can they get to you?
Yes, if you want to schedule a Yoni Steam, you want to log on to www.yonisteam412.com. We are making women feel great again. You can also reach me on Instagram, 412_Yoni Steam, and on Facebook, Yoni Steam 412. Or Teresa King, you can become my friend and follow me and learn so much.
Thank you.
Like how to use that hula hoop.
Or do you give classes on that?
We have classes. We do parties. We go to the clubs.
Wow. I
Everything.
gotta take a class because that's so sexy.
Like, where have I been? I had no idea. I need to come along.
Can I just say, if you can ride D, you can hula hoop. Because you think you go in a circle, but you don't really ride D in a circle. You go back and forth.
Yeah. I'm pretty good with a hula hoop, but
She said, I don't need it.
I'm pretty good with a hula hoop. I just want to be there. I just want to be a part of it.
Come on.
So I don't need any of that. So what? So give us some tips on, some sex tips, some hygiene tips. Give us some tips here. The girls out there.
Absolutely. So I just want to say, my Yoni ritual is wash, tone, and moisturize. That's the same care you do for your face. Well, you should do that for your vulva skin, which is the part where your hair comes out on your vulva. Our vagina is the hole where the D goes, and the vulva is all those other parts like your clitoral hood, your urethra, and your big and small lips. So every day you want to wash using a plant-based wash, using your hands only, and you want to air dry. Then you want to tone. You want to use a nice panty spray that's plant-based as well. I love Wombversity, my products, but I also go for Honey Pot. A lot of pushback from Honey Pot, but they're still my favorite. They just put some more preservatives in their ingredients. That's all. And we cannot forget about our sister like that. These products have to make it to China and Russia. She is just growing, so she had to add some preservatives in there.
Right.
But wash, tone, and moisturize. When you moisturize, you want to use coconut oil.
Okay.
Coconut oil is my natural birth control, y'all.
Okay. So when you say coconut oil, where exactly are you putting it? Like the top?
We're putting coconut oil all over the vulva where the pubes are, and in the inside where the clitoral hood is, them small lips. Here we go. These small lips and the crevices, it gets kind of dry down there,
And
right there.
Coconut oil, it naturally helps for cleansing,
Girl,
correct?
it's antifungal,
Yeah.
antibacterial.
Oh, wow, I didn't know you can use
Yes,
that down there.
antifungal.
But it
be
has
careful because, like, for me, I like coconut oil, and yes, it is antifungal. However, it really clogs my pores.
Yes, not to be
So it
used on
doesn't
your
work
face.
for everybody.
Not to be used on your
Careful
face.
where you're using it because it clogs my pores and it causes me to get hives. But get the unrefined, right? Unrefined, yes, because the refined one has too many chemicals and things in there.
Yes.
It's been modified.
Let's go to Aldi. I get mine from Aldi.
Aldi's a good place
Yeah, they
for
have a lot of good
a lot of
things.
organic things.
They do.
Good prices.
They do. What about some sex tips?
I want to talk about natural birth control.
Oh,
Okay,
yes,
go ahead,
please.
talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it because I haven't been on birth control in over 6 years.
Natural birth control. Okay. Go ahead.
It's basically food. Remember, God left us
Yes.
with everything on this earth.
Absolutely.
So I want to give 3 natural birth controls, which again is the coconut oil, unrefined and organic. You want to lather this all over the D, and you want to use it on yourself for a lubricant.
Okay.
Mixed with vitamin C. Plan B is really vitamin C. It's like a whole orange. They take
my
everything from
gosh.
the earth and put it in the laboratory and put it in a pill and preservatives on it. So yeah, Plan B
Put a
is
price
vitamin
on
C.
it.
and put a price on it.
Vitamin C. Wow.
Fun fact.
So you can use Emergency, that big tablet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can drink that in a cup. I like to use grapefruit juice. I'm going to drink a whole gallon of grapefruit juice if I get skeeted in.
Okay.
Of course, you're going to go to the toilet and try to push and pee that out. But the grapefruit juice is probably the highest in vitamin C, 1,000 milligrams. You got your coconut oil. And then the ultimate one is neem oil, NEEM. Kills sperm in 30 seconds tops.
Yes, but not for
She's
that.
good with this stuff.
For plants,
but,
right?
Yeah, like for my hair and things like that.
Great for skin, great for your hair, great to kill
Yes.
parasites on plants. But it does the same thing to sperm. It just eats it up.
Wow.
So it's a liquid form, and you insert it in your vagina. I like to use an applicator. You just pour it in the applicator, insert after sex immediately, and it'll eat up the sperm, but it smells like shallots.
So it's not a good smell.
It's not a good
No.
smell, but he should be gone anyway. After you put that in, he won't smell it.
Bye.
Or
I
he
said,
sleep,
you should
but-
be gone already.
Yes, so,
Not to laugh about that. We don't want to.
so y'all, we have neem oil.
Uh-huh.
And this could be purchased at any of your natural grocers, the Co-op, the Whole Foods. You got your Jamil's. He probably does have his own brand.
Still around?
Yes.
The shop's
didn't
still
know
around.
that.
Yeah, the
Okay.
shop.
He has a lot of things we need. Or Mama Dana at the Cultural Oasis right on the corner of Jamil's.
Okay.
You can grab your neem oil there. And the coconut oil is really good from Mama Dana, straight from the Philippines. And then you got your vitamin C. You want to take all those every day, especially the days that you're going to have sex.
Wow. That's amazing. I've never heard any of that. That's amazing. Thank you
Who
for
was
sharing.
going to tell you?
Especially in a time like this where like there have been like abortions in certain states and things like that.
Yes,
so,
this information is vital.
yeah, so ladies,
again,
listen
thank
up.
you.
Yes.
You're worthy. You're worthy. You're all worthy.
Wow.
Yes.
You're just speaking so much knowledge here because I didn't know about any of this stuff. So that's good. So Candace, you got any more questions?
No, because a lot of the things that I was going to ask, we already covered those topics. You've been very informative. I mean, I can muster something together. Let me see here.
Okay, while you're looking for something, why should we stay away from Yoni steams? Like, what type of people should stay away from? I know you said people with IUDs and things like that. Are there any other people or any health issues that should stay away from the Yoni steam?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would like to know.
You should not Yoni steam with the IUD. You should not Yoni steam with an open wound or an infection. It's safe for women with herpes virus and men with herpes virus as long as you don't have an outbreak, because the steam will pop. Those blisters pop, and it can be pretty painful.
Yes.
But I have all type of care practices and plans for women with herpes, and it's been pretty successful. Because it's an autoimmune disease, and you just got to keep your immune boosted for anything. You have to keep your immune boosted. Your vagina has its own immune system as well. So once the vagina's sick, the whole body's sick.
Absolutely.
That makes total sense.
It does, yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up, because now that I'm thinking about it, you're pretty much like a therapist. Like, how is that? You know, you have people come into you with different things going on with their bodies. You may have women who don't know if they can have children and are coming to you to see what you can do to help. I'm pretty sure you're meeting a lot of people in their most vulnerable state. How is that?
Yeah, I don't know. They just come in or comfortable and they lay it on me.
Must be just, they just feel your vibe. You are very genuine. Like, I could just feel it. This whole time it's just
I
been
love
really
that
great
you said
energy.
that, because
you
you
know?
said therapist, and I feel like a therapist, and you're like a physician. Like, you're like all these things mixed in
Yes.
one. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Wow.
So she's like,
We're
wow.
talking about you.
She's like, wow.
Wow.
No,
seriously.
I love it.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm an only child.
She said that's
I
so-
just don't have a lot of people to talk to about my issues, but most people
That's
do.
hard. That's
Yes,
hard.
it is.
I think that's one thing we all can connect with, where we're like givers and we can give knowledge about certain things and hear, people's problems and things like that. But most of the time, we don't have those people that we can talk to,
Like, we
or
have to rely on ourselves for that portion. So
we are those people. Yeah.
being that this is your line of work, I imagine that could be pretty tough.
Yeah. But I'm really used to it now. I really embrace it. I know my superpowers. I know that I was called to do this.
Well, surely.
And I'm going to take it across the world to help as many women as possible.
I love that.
Yes, yes. So you travel.
I'm traveling.
So I'm doing it all.
Yeah, like even like try to go to places that people don't commonly go to, because I'm sure that they need it a lot too. You probably will be going to places where people never even heard of it.
Ooh, Lord, speak it.
Yes.
I'm starting
I
the
can
schools.
see that. Yes.
I love that.
That's amazing. I really would love to see how that just prospers.
Yeah.
Well, if you ladies have any teenage groups you want me to talk to, I really want to start with the youth because they're the future. Like,
Okay.
I've been preaching it so much to us adults. It has to get trickled down to the youth.
Yes.
So I want to go into the schools. I graduated from City Charter High School. I was the first graduating class.
Okay.
Trying to get back there. I want to do some after-school programs.
Okay.
And I am about to drop my puberty activity book.
I saw that on your Facebook.
Oh, wow.
That's really, really
You're an
needed.
author. Girl, I'm going to need that.
She's
book.
like, I didn't even know.
Yes, I'm going to need that book for my daughter because when I was little, all I had was All American Girl.
Yeah. And what's the other book I gave Sky was about
That was the book.
Was it?
Yes,
okay, about
that's the
periods
book.
and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I created inspiration of my daughters because they're living in Atlanta right now with their father for a school year. So I know they're about to come on their period.
Right.
Know it.
So I was like, let me just get this book out. It teaches them all about their hormones, how to change a pad, the
Which is
yeast
important.
beast, very important, how to put the pad away.
That's amazing.
So is this an actual book or is this a class?
It is an actual book.
Yeah, like you're an author. I think that that's amazing though, because there's so many parents that don't know how to go about teaching their children that. And then you have single fathers with daughters. There's all types of circumstances. You could
about
be
it.
very uncomfortable. You know, you may be a woman yourself, but very uncomfortable with showing because you may have never had that. So I
Right.
think you're doing something major.
Because people
I
don't
really
think about
do.
that. I'm so glad that you said that, Candace, because I know growing up for me, my mom didn't talk to me about certain things like how to keep up with my vagina. And, you know, I remember young, not to give too much information, I had BV and I didn't know what it was, you know, and I didn't know who to talk to.
And I bet that was scary.
It was very scary because you're young, you have the smell, you're like, what the hell is this? You think something's wrong. You go to the doctor, you have an STD. And I'm like, no, the hell
Yes,
I
and
don't.
then now you leave feeling filthy.
Yes, but then it comes I didn't even have one, but he automatically, because he just assumed that I had an STD and he didn't even take the time to see. So just being young and you don't even know how to take care of yourself, like even with, you know, shaving or waxing, what's better, I wasn't taught none of those things. So that's very important.
Yeah, because we're sometimes led astray.
Yeah.
Look at you. You're just going to change the world
I
one
love
baby
it.
at a time.
Right. We
And
didn't know how to
when
put
they
grow
pads
up,
on.
they're
things
going to
like
know.
that.
Yeah, and they're going to pass it down to their children. It's going to go on for generations and generations. I'm pretty sure you know the power of what you're doing, but just to hear it, I'm pretty sure you're like, wow, and girl, that's you.
'Cause she's so, you know why? Because she's so genuine about it. She's
And
not,
humble,
she's like,
yes.
and humble.
Yes.
So I know we're going
yes,
to watch
we're here
your
to praise you
journey.
today, girl. Get your flowers. Get your
Yeah.
flowers while you're here.
Yeah,
I
so
have
I'm looking
to
forward
say
to the
it.
journey. We're going to
Thank
be
you.
watching and rooting for you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, and let us know when the book comes out. We definitely will support. We have little girls.
Yes.
So, I mean, not that we are going to neglect the whole topic of talking to them and skip over that because you got a book now, but
Right,
still,
'cause-
they can use that. It's
Right,
a good
'cause
guideline.
My daughter's 12. She's already done started her period. So I already had to let her read the book. I had to tell her what kind of pads to use and how to cleanse yourself and how to take care of yourself. You can't not just take a bath once a day or not take a bath when you're on your period. You have to take a bath a shower multiple times.
Parents know that's rough.
Yeah.
That whole process.
Can you imagine that? A 12-year-old, they don't even know how to clean their room properly. Imagine
Exactly.
them cleaning their,
But it's like we all had to go through it. And it's like sometimes I think
Yes.
back like, thank God I was just someone who really wanted to be clean at that time in my life because it could have been really bad for your girl.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, I didn't start my menstrual until I was like maybe 15, 16. I was old enough to take care of myself.
And let's talk
I wasn't-
about that.
Yeah.
Girls my age, at that time, we weren't on our menstruals that young.
And
We
let's
were
talk
middle
about
school.
that. Truth or myth? Is there something going on
Are
in
you
the
an
air, or
athlete?
no? Seriously, is there something going on in the food or the air that's
Yes, the
causing
food.
our children to
Right.
develop a lot quicker? Because
Indeed.
I started my menstrual in middle school. I mean, however, every girl is different. Some start late, some start early, but it just seems like it's more common these days that
so many
little girls are developing
that's
a lot
scary.
faster.
Like okay, my daughter's 12 now, but I think when she started her period, I think she was like 10.
Oh, yeah.
She was 10. That was so scary.
Well, the difference from our food chain when we were
So that's
growing
a lot
up,
to do with the food.
we got a lot of soy in our foods. If you check the label on everything, there's soy in everything. Soy
Absolutely.
is estrogen. And our men are growing boobs because they're eating the soy, which is estrogen, the female hormone. So our children are getting a lot of those, they're having imbalanced hormones from the food.
Absolutely, and that's what I was getting at.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up because when you grow breasts, everyone knows that this is factual. You know, within the time that you start growing breasts in the next few years, you are going to start your period. It goes hand in hand.
We talked
So
about
if there's
that, yeah.
estrogen in the food, like more estrogen in the food levels these days, and everyone's developing in that area a lot faster, I believe that could contribute to the issue that we're having. That pretty much
Because if you think about it too, when we were young, I don't know for you guys, but a lot of girls with flat chests. You get some girls that had big boobs, but most of us didn't have chests.
it took a little time for some of us.
Yes,
Yeah.
nowadays a lot of girls are,
Yeah, like
was
my baby
natural.
is in elementary, and I had to go shopping for things like that because I was starting to see that your clothes are, you need a little more protection underneath your clothes. And she's not even in middle school yet, so I mean, and it could be genes. It could very well be genes, but I just honestly feel like there's something going on. with
I
the
agree.
Food,
It's
air
different.
supply, drinks, extra hormones.
You got it. That's it.
So is there anything you want to say to wrap up? Any advice? Anything that you want to say?
Oh, yes, I really want to say thank you for the support, the city of Pittsburgh, supporting me since 2018 when I started in my living room. After 50 women in my living room, I asked God for a place, and he gave it to me in less than 24 hours
Yes.
off of Craigslist.
Yes.
Speedy process.
Big ups to my landlord. He didn't ask me for an ID credit check or nothing. He just gave me the keys and said, God told me this is for you.
That's amazing.
I just want women to know that you can heal yourself, and the womb is the brain of the woman's body, and it's one of the most important organs in your body. So please take it seriously and holler at me if you need me.
Yes.
Well, you heard it from her.
Yes. Peak power. Yes. We're in control. Peak power. We're all in control.
Oh, yeah,
right
this
now.
was Pussy Power Hour.
Yes,
That was my
Yes.
thing.
We in control.
For
So
surely.
I want to thank you so much for coming on and kicking this knowledge because I learned so much in this episode. So thank you so much. And I love to see what you're doing. And I feel like I can feel it in my heart that you're going to go for what you're doing. And I'm looking forward to it.
I second that. I do. This has been a really good experience. All the knowledge that you've been kicking to us and the world. Because
Yes,
the
we're
world's going to hear this. And you just help so many people. You have no idea.
Yes.
Thank you, goddesses.
No problem. Anytime.
So thank you, Truthers. And don't forget, Pussy Power, we're in control. All right.
Yes.
See you
yes.
guys.
Thank you so much for
Thank
tuning
you.
in.
Thanks, Teresa.
Yes.